Hi there and welcome to the first session of our 5-week study, The Advent Conspiracy, brought to you by the Communities of the Sent, God's Church Deployed. It's great to have you here, and we are really looking forward to spending the next 5 weeks with you as we make our journey slowly, but at the same time a little quickly, towards the great celebration of Christmas. We are happy to have you joining us as we look to study this great book that we've used before for some communities and is brand new to others, The Advent Conspiracy. Now, what is an Advent conspiracy, you might ask? Well, let's split those words apart. So what is an Advent? Well, a capital A, Advent, is a season of the church year. We all know what that means. It's the 4 Sundays that immediately precede the celebration of Christmas. But a lowercase a, or an uncapitalized A, Advent, means a coming into being or a coming into use. We hear things like the advent of the computer age or the advent of television, and those are significant advents in our living memory. But what about other advents that aren't about things or objects, but are actually about changes in our world? The advent, for example, of a commercial Christmas, or even the advent of a new role for Santa Claus that is played in our world against the old Saint Nick that we all know and love of those great old stories. I'm pretty sure that Santa has probably become a little disillusioned about just how much he now represents things when he really wants to bring us joy and feelings of generosity and giving from the heart. When did Christmas become an advent or a coming into being of gluttony and greed, instead of an advent, a coming into being of a greater gift? What about the second part of my initial question? So, what is a conspiracy? Well, by dictionary definition, a conspiracy can be said to be a secret plan made by 2 or more people to do something that is harmful or even illegal. It is an agreement between conspirators, an act of conspiring together. What happens, though, when a conspiracy, and what happens when the conspirators aren't doing anything unlawful, but instead are doing something to harm or interrupt a destructive pattern? Can a conspiracy then be good? Is it possible that one can conspire for positive change? Maybe that's what God's conspiracy at the first Christmas was all about. And maybe as co-conspirators in that great story, it is time for us to Advent, to bring about a change not that is harmful, but that might actually reduce just how much harm we cause ourselves. So an Advent conspiracy could be defined as a group of conspirators bringing into being a secret plan to reduce actions that cause harm, pain, hurt, even debt or stress. I want to share a quick video with you, and then we'll talk again. Well, wasn't that just an incredibly high energy video? I love hearing that music, that version of that Christmas Carol. I just love that. It gets me excited about the Christmas season. But those words that were shared, those words really brought something to my mind. Now, I certainly can't, and I would never claim to know the mind of God. Who of us ever could possibly fathom just such a wisdom? But I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that when the first Christmas at Bethlehem took place, when it was first offered by God to the world, there was never any plan for the great gift of Emmanuel to ever equate to $1 trillion spent on gifts and all of the trappings that we've created in the Christmas season. How many people find themselves now looking forward to New Year's? Not because it's a new year, but because it's a great party, because it means that the stress of Christmas is finally behind us. And all that's left is the dreaded credit card bill sometime in January. I've seen a number of images this year of ships moored offshore on the west coast of North America with comments like, "Christmas will be ruined this year because of all the goods stuck on those ships, unable to get into the port to be unloaded." When was it that Christmas began arriving on a ship? When was it that a season of family get-togethers and simple gifts offered as reminders of the great original gift offered 2,000 years ago, when was it that that became something that could be ruined by the absence of, well, stuff? It sounds to me like it's time for us to conspire together to see if we can break up with some of our bad habits that the world has taught us. It is time for us to bring into being the advent of a new way to make Christmas meaningful again. Now, between now and Christmas, we hope that you will join us as we gather together both in person and online to hear the great story of Christmas once again, and to reflect on how we can approach the birth of Christ in a different way than maybe we recently have. We will share in 4 specific chapters of the Advent Conspiracy book, led by the Reverends Robert Clifford, Charla Malif, and Elise Chambers, and a new addition to our community. Reverend Ryan Boyven from the community of St. David and St. Mark here in Windsor, as well as the community of St. Andrews LaSalle, is going to be joining us. Now, I am going to be your guide and host each way as we hear all of these teachers share how we ought to worship fully, spend less, give more, and love all, in making our Advent something different this year. You'll also join me as we bring everything together in a final conversation on that last Tuesday before Christmas, with a wrap-up survey and conversation of what we've covered. So join us, won't you, over the next 5 weeks as we journey together through our books, our scriptures, and videos to hear the old message made new again. We begin Tuesday, November the 23rd, with an available afternoon session being offered at St. Augustine of Canterbury here in Windsor each week at 1 p.m., followed by our hybrid on-site and online options beginning at 7 p.m. each Tuesday. For any more details, please email us using the email address that's included in the video description. Otherwise, you can always contact any of our clergy for more information. So, making sure that you've pre-read the first 3 chapters of our book, or if you're tight for time, be sure to at least read chapter 3 for this week, and watch the video links attached in the email that you'll have received with this welcome video. Can't wait to see you this coming Tuesday, the 23rd of November, as we attempt to make Christmas meaningful again. Can't wait to join you. Bye for now.